It's your moment, your presentation. It could be an auditorium of 5,000 people. It could be a Cub Scout meeting. It could be a business meeting for your people. It could be a pitch to get investors to give you millions. You're going up in front of a group of people that you may or may not know. Here's the question. How do you control that room? How do you put that room in the palm of your hand? I'd love it if some fellow presenters could come on here, join me, joinraylive.com. See, we're live right now, and you can come in the back room here. First, when you come in, you'll see the hot tub and the Dove bars and the charcuterie board. So have a little champagne, then I'll pop you in here when you show up at backstage, and we'll talk about how to control the room. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I put a poll out on LinkedIn today, and I think I had 4 choices. One was engagement and interaction. That was very popular. The other was enthusiasm and interest. There was one that had data and information and humor and fun. The first 2 I mentioned were clearly the leaders, and they took about 75% of the people. And there's no right or wrong answer to this. There's a lot more different ways to do it. You can promise value and value your promise. And then if you give value, then people will buy into what you're doing. Example, not of that, but of one of these techniques. I was about to testify in front of a presidential task force on small business. Come on. If you had done that, you'd mention it too. Okay. And all these people before me were talking about all these programs and initials, the SBA, RCA, MTV, whatever they were. And I just had to get a point across about some things that were going wrong with the Small Business Administration was doing. So my opening was, I don't profess to be as smart as y'all. I don't know all the programs you're talking about. I certainly don't know as many initials as you are. But I know one thing. I flew 3,000 miles to give my 2 cents, so I better do it now. Thomas Edison failed thousands and thousands and thousands of times before he got it right and invented the light bulb. So I know you all are close. And when I said that, the whole room just started cracking up. Now, the guy who was second in command of the SBA, who was standing there, there's some initials for you, kind of stared daggers at me, but he realized that I had won the audience over, so he respected everything I said. And at the end of the conference, there was only 2 people that he mentioned, and I was one of them. And that made me memorable, and I had the room right where I wanted it, and everybody was now listening to me. So how do you do that? Come on here, joinraylive.com. I'd love to have you come on in here and talk about it. There are other wisdom and silence is another way to control a room. If you have great wisdom and give people the silence to be introspective, they will be with you if they buy into you. Now, here's one of the key things that nobody really ever thinks about. The second you walk into the place where you have to present, you are on stage from that moment on. From that moment on. Hey, we got Lisa Rothstein has a little comment here. I'm not camera ready today, so I'll just lurk. She's lurking in the back room. Excellent job lurking, Lisa Rothstein. Thanks for popping in a comment there. And feel free to put the comments in if you can. I think you can only do that from the LinkedIn Live. I don't think you do it from the Facebook or the YouTube. But I'm just kind of relearning how to use this. So back to where we were. The second you walk in the room, you are on stage. You are absolutely 100% on stage. And if you don't go up and make conversation with these people, when you go up in front of these people, you're the speaker, you're the presenter, you're the boss. If you're the boss and there's a meeting, 100% they're staring at you. And if you don't take the time, they'll sit there and go, oh my God, is he in a good mood? Is he in a bad mood? What's the news today? This is gonna be a good meeting, a bad meeting? They are staring at you as if you are on display, and you are. So if you don't know anybody, your best move is to go in and start talking to people, become a human being, because it's very easy to not like a speaker that you're being forced to see, or a speaker that you might not enjoy the same things they're saying. JoinRayLive.com. That would be get you back in here with me. But it's very hard to hate a person that they've just met and seems like a pretty interesting person. So your job when you first show up at the venue, you're on stage. The second you're in the parking lot, when somebody can see you, that is when you're on stage. I was going to give an interview for a sales position, and I'm waiting for the guy to show up, and I'm just in my office, and I can see outside in the parking lot. And outside in the parking lot, there's a guy, he's changing in the parking lot. And I noticed he's putting on a suit and a tie. And I wonder, in some ways I'm thinking, wow, that's kind of cool that the guy would actually, think to do this, but why is he doing here? Because here's the kicker in that. The guy was changing. He took off the pants he was wearing, and he was wearing boxers with jalapenos on them. And it was the guy that I was just about to interview. You can't have an interview knowing the guy across the table from you is wearing boxers with jalapenos. It didn't really do him well. So he knocked himself down before he even knew it. So the second someone can see you, and the second you're in the car, don't cut people off, don't flip people off, because you never know where the person who's driving next to you is going. They might be the person that's there to interview you. How do I know that? Happened to me on the wrong side of it, but that's a story for another day. So the second you come in, your presence, they're going to look, are you confident? What is your body language saying? Are you friendly? Are you enjoying yourself? I think energy and enthusiasm is a fantastic way to win people over, but don't overdo it. My background comes from stand-up comedy years ago, and I can't tell you how many people I saw come in. Hey, how's everybody doing? Yeah, give it up for your host. Woo! And in a room, everybody likes to be energized, but they like to go up at a reasonable pace. So whatever the person that is speaking, if the room is at this level, do not go up here where you can't even see it. Just bring it up a little bit. They'll catch up. Bring it up a little bit. They'll catch up. Bring it up a little bit. They'll catch up. So simple little tricks like that allow you to control the room. Anybody else got any ideas? Come on in here, joinraylive.com. One of my favorites is smoke and mirrors. And what that is, I'll give you the bad perception of smoke and mirrors. What it really is influence. And what people view it as manipulation. And the difference between influence and manipulation is pretty simple. If I'm doing something that is getting you to do an action that is good for me, that's manipulation. If I'm doing something that does something for you that gets you farther along where you want to go, that's influence. And sometimes to create the influence for people, they have to pay to be influenced. And there's nothing wrong with understanding the principles of influence. And I would suggest that anybody that speaks, anybody that is in management, anybody that has children, anybody that talks to people should understand how people react in certain information, in certain instances. The principle of reciprocity, if I help you, you want to help me. Helping is one of the greatest things that people want to do in this world. And this is really crazy. So if you are dying on the sidewalk and there are people walking by you and you don't let them know that you need help, they won't help you. But the second you say, I need help, then they'll help you. Remember that. It could save your life. But yeah, it was something like 85% of the people did not stop to help the person unless they were asked to stop and help the person, because they don't know what's going on with that person. They don't know what they have, what they're doing. We say, I need help. I need this happened to me. I need help. They'll help you. So asking for help is such a great tool to create interaction. But that's kind of smoke and mirrors, your ability to create interest in you and what you're doing. If I can make your life better and easier, and I know that, and I can give you the information that makes that happen, because if you and I could sit down for 15 minutes and talk about influence and talk about how you're presenting to people and talk about how your sales presentations are going, I guarantee you I could raise your prices. I could give you more confidence to contact more people, and I can get you to that level that you want to be, but people will fight it because it's good for them. And I know that it is kind of selfish to hold that information in. That's why I like doing these things and giving people a couple of quick tips and tricks and books to read, things to look into. Cialdini's book, the influence, the psychology of influence, fantastic. It's not the easiest read in the world because it's not really super exciting, but the information in there is absolutely 100% fantastic. So doesn't look like anybody's coming in here today to join me to talk about that. I'll just leave you with a few quick tips because you don't want to sit here and listen to me talk. I'm going to do this every Wednesday. I have some guest books for some upcoming dates, so someone will be there to talk with me. We'll chat about a certain subject. I know Chad Betts is coming on soon in December. I know it's the day before Thanksgiving too. Probably not the easiest day to get people's attention, but a number of you have kind of chimed in and put things up, and people are looking at it on Facebook. That's a great thing. So thanks for coming. I'm so grateful to be able to do this and talk to you. If you have questions about anything, get in touch with me. My email, ray@humorspeaks.com. And happy to talk to you. Happy to talk about some things that you're doing and make your life a little bit easier. All right. Let's see if I can graciously end this.